This isn't fiction. This is the real story of El Chapo, the drug lord who turned escape into an art form and built an empire so powerful that even governments struggle to contain him. But to understand how a man could disappear from a maximum security prison, you have to go back to where it all began. Deep in the Sierra Madre Mountains, in a poor village where dreams weren't about becoming doctors or astronauts, but about survival and power. Joaquin Guzman Loera was born into poverty. No privilege, no education, no clear path forward, just one brutal reality. If you wanted out, you had to take it. From a young age, he worked in marijuana and poppy fields. It wasn't a choice, it was the environment. But while others accepted their fate, he didn't. He watched, he learned, and most importantly, he wanted more. They called him El Chapo, slang for shorty, because of his height. But what he lacked in size, he made up for in ambition. He wasn't just another worker. He became a problem solver. And in the world he stepped into, solving problems didn't mean negotiation. It meant elimination. Shipments delayed, someone paid the price. Mistakes made, someone disappeared. That cold efficiency made him valuable, trusted, feared, and that's how he climbed. From a nobody in the mountains to a key player in one of Mexico's most powerful cartels. When his boss was arrested, most organizations would collapse, but not this one. El Chapo stepped in, kept everything running, and then did something even more dangerous. He built his own empire, the Sinaloa Cartel. This wasn't just a criminal group, it was a machine, a global operation moving cocaine, heroin, and other drugs across borders, using planes, trucks, and something that would later define his legacy. Tunnels, carefully engineered pathways beneath borders, invisible highways right under the noses of authorities. But power comes with enemies, and one moment would change everything. At an airport in Guadalajara, chaos erupted. Gunmen opened fire. Bullets everywhere. 7 people died. Among them, a high-ranking Catholic cardinal. Officially, it was a tragic accident. Wrong place, wrong time. But the truth? Still debated. Some believed it was a targeted killing. Others suspected something even darker, involving corruption at the highest levels. What mattered most was that El Chapo walked away, unharmed and more notorious than ever. Now, he wasn't just a drug trafficker. He was a name the entire country knew. And with that attention came pressure. The government moved fast. Within weeks, he was captured. Finally, the man who seemed untouchable was behind bars. But here's where things get strange, because prison didn't stop him. It didn't even slow him down. From inside his cell, he continued running his empire. Orders passed through lawyers, operations coordinated from a distance, money still flowing, power untouched. Think about that for a second. A man locked in a cage, still controlling billions. And eventually, he got tired of being there, so he escaped. The official story? Almost unbelievable. Hidden inside a laundry cart, rolled past guards, slipped into a car trunk, and driven out like nothing happened. But many didn't buy it. Sensors, security systems, surveillance. There's no way, people said, that level of security could be bypassed so easily, unless someone helped him. And that idea, corruption, would follow his story forever. Now free again, El Chapo didn't hide. He expanded. Rival cartels weakened. Leaders killed or arrested. Territories up for grabs. He moved in aggressively. Cities turned into war zone. Violence exploded. Thousands died. And through all of it, he rose to the top, becoming the most powerful drug lord in the world. Billions in profit. Operations in over 50 countries, even making the list of the world's richest people. At this point, capturing him wasn't just important, it was urgent. But every time authorities got close, he slipped away. Phones changed constantly, locations shifting, safe houses everywhere. And when they raided those houses, they found something chilling. Escape tunnels, hidden beneath bathtubs, leading into sewer system. Always a way out. It became a pattern. Find him, lose him, repeat, until finally, After years of pursuit, they caught him again. This time, in a hotel. Cornered, no escape, or so they thought. Because what came next would shock the world. Inside one of the most secure prisons in Mexico, a plan was already in motion. Not days, not weeks, a full year in the making. A tunnel, but not just any tunnel, a masterpiece. Over 1 kilometer long, equipped with lighting, ventilation, even a rail system powered by a modified motorcycle, all leading to one precise location, the floor of his prison shower. Think about the precision required, the coordination, the silence, and somehow, no one stopped it. Then, the day came. Surveillance cameras watched him pacing in his cell. Nothing unusual, until he stepped into the shower, bent down, and disappeared. Gone, through a hole barely wide enough to fit, down a ladder, into the tunnel, onto the motorcycle. And just like that, he was free again. By the time guards realized, it was too late. The world watched in disbelief. How does something like this even happen? Theories flooded in. Inside job, corruption, negligence. But no matter the explanation, one thing was clear. El Chapo had done it again. And now, the pressure was greater than ever. The hunt intensified. But then, he made a mistake. A different kind of move. Not about power. Not about escape. About ego. He wanted his story told. A movie. A legacy on screen. So he agreed to meet actors, filmmakers, people far outside his usual world. And without realizing it, that decision exposed him. Because authorities were watching. Tracking movements, connecting dots, getting closer. Finally, in 2016, they found him. A safe house, a raid, gunfire. And once again, he tried to escape through a tunnel. Of course, but this time, something went wrong. The getaway car failed. Seconds turned into minutes. Minutes into lost opportunity. And for the first time, he couldn't outrun them. He was captured. For real. No escape. No second chance. He was extradited to the United States, the one place he never wanted to go, and sentenced to life in a supermax prison, a place designed for one purpose: no escape, ever. And this time, there are no tunnels, no hidden exits, no disappearing acts, just walls, steel, and silence. But here's the question that still lingers. Was it really his intelligence that kept him free for so long? Or was it something bigger? A system that allowed him to operate, to escape, to rise? Because even now, the world he helped build still exists, stronger than ever. So if this story made you question how power really works behind the scenes, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and stay with us. Because the truth is, this was just one chapter, and there are many more stories like this waiting to be uncovered.